Uh, I don't even know where to start. Actually, you know what? I do know where to start,
You know where to start.
and I need to see how that score is going right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I thought you had, or no, we don't. No, that's different from what you got for the boys for the Team South Dakota. That's not Flow.
No, that was USA
That's
Hockey.
USA. That's so good. Too bad you couldn't watch it all together.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. That game should be started.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. How can I? I don't want to watch it, but can I see what it is? So right now, guys, we're trying to look up. Ooh, there. No, we're looking for right there. Okay, so that game is just about to start. The second period, I think. For okay, that's okay. Hold on, I was watching a little bit of that game. So Carter Sanderson was supposed to be on here tonight.
Correct.
What happened was they started playoffs yesterday, which was kind of surprising on my point because I would assume they would have gave him a break because they literally went from
Playing Sunday.
playing. Oh,
Or
I don't. Was it
Saturday?
Sunday or Saturday? Either way, they
Yeah.
they went to playing regular season straight into playing in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yesterday was their first day.
So to me, that was just kind of crazy. Right now they are up 2-1 against Cedar Rapids. If they win against Cedar Rapids, they will move on to the next round, which I think is like in 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So right now, if they end up losing, if Cedar Rapids comes back against the Lumberjacks, they will have to go to game 3.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so right now, again, we're supposed to have Carter. We had some good questions for him.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting stuff happening.
we're just next time he gets on, we'll have to talk about the playoffs and
Yeah. Hopefully.
regular season.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the off season. On I know a little. I think a little bit of what he's going to be doing down in. I think probably be in Sioux Falls most of the summer.
No.
Working on um, his skills and trying to make it up that line there in Michigan. So yeah, but yeah, we got a lot of questions for him coming. Hopefully, I don't know when now. Probably not for another month. If
Yeah,
not
we're to see
more.
how far, how deep they can make a playoff run,
Yeah.
and then
So, but I guess
because I don't.
I do think though their schedule gets when there's not so many teams.
Yeah, obviously
They won't.
extends out.
They'll be so hopefully in the next week or so, or
Yeah.
not next week, but a couple more weeks. We can maybe get him on. But
It should make light work. They swept these Rough Riders or whatever for the season.
Cedars,
Yeah, 4-0. They were all close games too. It's cool. I was looking at them. It was like 3-2, 4-3, like all 1-1 goal games, just like the first game where they won 2-1. It's the same fashion.
So very excited for that. So be watching out for that with Carter and his team, the Lumberjacks, as they try to go for was it the Clark Cup?
Is that what it is? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you're right. The Clark Cup.
So yeah, fun things for him. Hopefully he can get some good experience and know how more intense it gets. That'll be a fun thing too to ask him, like from playing. Is there anything different? Can you tell and things like that? So it'll be kind of fun to ask him that type of stuff.
Like and the atmosphere and everything. The buildings are probably more fans come in. And just
well, maybe not because it's on a Tuesday instead of
true.
Saturday and Sunday. And
Yeah,
Friday.
because they're used to playing on the weekends.
Yeah,
usually,
so
during the week.
it'll be a little different there probably, but yeah. Other than that, I know I've been getting emails about Team South Dakota tryouts and things like that. So hopefully, you high school kids can go try out and.
Where's that at? Tryouts
in
at
Sioux Falls, of course. Okay. Yeah, you got 3 rinks. You got to use them up.
True.
But
somebody's got to pay for the ice.
Tryouts are only like $150 though.
Oh. Well, you get a lot of kids.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny. I've been waiting to apply for the coaching job for Aberdeen here, and I went on South Dakota's website, and sure enough, you can apply to be a coach for Team South Dakota.
So there's your answer on how to get it.
Well, for Team
figured.
South Dakota,
Yeah,
from last week,
yeah.
but I
Applied.
no.
Right.
The thing was they're like, if you apply, you might not get what you want, but we'll put you in what we think is the best fit for you.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything.
All right. Once you bring him back a state champ,
just-
like here's
just-
my resume.
Like if I do really good with Aberdeen, I'm like, hey, look what I did here in 1 year. Think what I can do in a week span.
Right? Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe next year. Abby would be very mad at me if I did that, but we'll see. If I do, hopefully.
It's a free plane ride to New York, baby. Come on.
It's in Minnesota this year.
Oh.
Or this coming year.
Damn. Well, I mean that's still great. I mean,
Yeah, maybe we can go.
well, kidding. We
Not
could go this
stream
year.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's that. But yeah, I think for Aberdeen wise, I think we're pretty close on seeing what. Sorry for Jojo to bark. There it is.
She goes.
Sorry about that, guys. I did give you a warning, but so yeah, hopefully we I get to apply for that coaching position here in the coming weeks, and hopefully.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'd take to process through it all. And
just depends
make a decision.
on how many people apply, I'm guessing, and going through interviews and stuff. So, is my guess. I'm not sure. I don't know how the process works. I just got asked to coach, and that's about it. I didn't have to go through any process. So we'll see. I'm excited. I think it's the first time I really said this on the podcast that I'm applying for the job. I know the kids. Some of the kids here already kind of know that I'm wanting that spot. They're kind of already thinking that I'm going to get it.
Don't be disappointed.
But
either, because I mean this is basically like a business decision, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Or it's above you, so
Exactly.
It's out of your hands, so
I can't be mad no matter what. I've tried it, but I did tell them that I probably won't come back as an assistant. So,
yeah. I totally get that.
So yeah, so we'll see. I might be the only one that's maybe dumb enough to do it. I don't know, but
That's why it's like it's kind of almost like dumb enough they don't choose you, because it's like you're one of the few that you actually want to do.
I know,
which has been kind of hard to come by in the recent years. I feel like 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 actually really like they want this, like they want to see the boys succeed.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been with these guys now for 2 years. I feel like they would trust me, but
they listen. I know that.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm hoping to be that head coach for Aberdeen. I think it'd be nice. Get the podcast. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. No.
I'm gonna just wear all Dakota Goons stuff. I'm just sponsor Aberdeen.
Slap a sticker right on the helmet.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, exciting things to come there for here in Aberdeen. Just to figure out who's the head coach. If it's not me,
I'm curious to see who would it be.
I just hope they make the right decision for the growth of Aberdeen. To be honest, I can see the growth probably, Pee-wee's on up. Maybe hopefully this next year, we can finally see some production there. But tell you the truth, I went on again South Dakota's website, and you see they say congratulations to everybody who has won state from Pee-wee's on up. The only 3 teams on there: Rapid, Brookings, Sioux Falls.
No, really,
are the only 3
that
have won the state championship.
For this year.
Jesus. So yeah, that's.
So we need to mix that up. Gotta get some other teams in there, some talent going through.
So yeah,
that just shows the domination of those teams. I guess I don't even know the towns, I guess, or I don't know, like the organizations and the way they develop their players.
Just development.
From there on, you see it. Pee-wee's up on up. I mean,
they're doing something
right
right
there. It's right in the writing.
So yeah, hopefully, I get some news on that, and I can.
It would be nice too, and you can contact, because you know who's all coming back for next year and everything like all that. So then, and plus you could maybe make it 4-on-4. I'm sure there's some out of 4-on-4 you can talk to. who are moving up.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see that you can go and
Well,
see
yeah.
beforehand. So I mean, like it would help. It would be
4-on-4 will start probably back in fall. There's only a couple
Yeah.
days left now for
Oh, okay.
spring 4-on-4, but that
Okay.
fall will probably pick back up right after the fair. And
Well, I'm sure you'd hope
Yeah.
to know by then.
yeah, I'm hoping to know before June. I would like to get if I'm the coach, I would like to get the guys together and
with summer.
kind of get through my expectations for this coming year. So
Yep. For sure.
which wouldn't be too hard to do.
Oh.
But so yeah, other than that, go Carter, go.
Yeah, let's go
And-
Lumberjacks. Bring down the hammer. Bring down the axe.
And go Aberdeen for trying to figure out their new head coach.
Yeah.
So, but right now, honestly, guys, in the NHL, we've kind of pretty much we have our President's Trophy winners.
Mm-hmm.
Winnipeg Jets get that first time ever in their franchise history.
Congratulations, and a Canadian team.
And a Canadian team.
Last one was 2011.
I have no idea.
I think it was 2011. The Vancouver Canucks did it back to back.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and then they went to lose Game 7 in the finals to Boston.
So, Vegas gets they win their division.
Yep.
Washington wins their division. Atlantic is still up for grabs. Toronto
Could be sealed tonight.
Could be sealed. Toronto's looking like they're gonna be the favorites to win their division,
which was we talked about was a must for them.
It was a must.
It turned out pretty well for them, I think.
They're doing pretty good against the Plain Sabres tonight. They're up 1-0 in the third, so looking pretty good there for them. But yeah, the big games tonight are gonna be the Blue Jackets versus the Flyers, which they're in the third period.
Utah.
Tuesday.
Oh no, sorry.
Blue Jackets
sorry.
and the Flyers.
My bad. I had blue and I was like Blues.
Yeah, no, the Blue Jackets and the Flyers are Blue Jackets are up 2-0, going into or just about halfway through the third. With that win, if they still end up winning, the Flyers don't come back, that just puts more pressure on Montreal. Montreal right now is at 89 points, while the Blue Jackets are at 85. Again, with that win would make them at 87. But Montreal would still need at least 1 point in their next game to move on to the next round. So just need a point from Montreal. If they would have won last night, it would have been fine. We would have had our 8 for the Eastern Conference. But because of that, we still got a little competition. So that's
play the Hurricanes tomorrow. So
yeah, that's
tough
gonna be
matchup.
Tough game to end off the year.
Mm-hmm.
But our other scenario in the West, that's a little bit. We have 3 teams there. Don't mess around, girl. 3 teams there with Minnesota, St. Louis, and Calgary. So right now, Minnesota will clinch a spot if they win, and same with the St. Louis Blues. They will both clinch a spot if they win tonight. The Blues are up 4-0 against Utah, and the Minnesota Wild are tied with the Ducks 1-1. The only scenario for the Calgary Flames to really make it to the playoffs now, to squeak in, is if Minnesota loses tonight and Calgary wins out tonight against Vegas, which that game just started, and against the Canes, I believe it would be Saturday night.
No, Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday or tomorrow?
It's not tomorrow.
Thursday then.
Okay. So with Thursday night then. So Calgary's hoping to win tonight, and they're hoping Minnesota loses.
Regulation wins too. They need regulation.
Yes,
they
can't do anything else in the regulation. The Blues will win. They'll go up to 96. But even if Calgary does win out, doesn't matter. They'll be tied with St. Louis, but St. Louis wins it because I think, looking at it,
established that the series, and then they have wins,
the
regulation
series.
wins.
Yep.
Would be the next tiebreaker, and they win that too.
Yeah. So which I think it just goes series wins for these guys because they only play each other 3 times out of the whole year.
Yeah.
So it's best 2 out of or the best 2 out of or best out of 3. St. Louis has all 3 against the Flames. The thing is, again, if Calgary wins all of them and they get 96 points, even if Minnesota goes and gets 1 point at 96, they're still on the chopping block or on the way out almost, because if Calgary ends up winning and ties their points at 96 with the Minnesota Wild, Minnesota will end up not making it to the playoffs because Calgary are 3-0 against them in their series this season. So, kind of the same thing can happen like Washington and Detroit last year. It would be Minnesota and Calgary in that effect. So, you can't tell me that right now Calgary will be going into the first period or go into intermission and checking that Wild and Ducks game every single time.
Yeah.
Or you can't tell me that someone's not on the bench saying, "Hey, Wild are down or up or whatever," because
I'll say Calgary's gonna be looking at that Wild the Wild game, and like third period's gonna come around, and that game's gonna end for them, and the Wild game's gonna end. And they're gonna be looking to see like, are we, it's because it kind of sucks because it's like, are we playing for something? I mean, you are playing because
Yeah.
pressure, but like, are you playing to make it in the playoffs? Like, can we still play like with that, or should we out at this point?
Yep. So
Looking up the tiebreaker things though, I'm gonna take a look. That's what the tiebreaker procedure is.
So the fewer number of games played, super points percentage. Few number of games that doesn't make any sense because they're all played 82 games.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it goes based off wins though. With that next thing.
If two or more clubs are tied in points during the regular season, standing of the clubs is determined in the following. Okay, so the fewer games are going to be during the regular season. The greater number of games won, excluding games won in overtime or by shootout.
Yeah.
So
regulation wins.
Regulation wins, which I guess I'm not even sure.
Calgary's a blow. They would not win a tiebreaker.
So the greater number of games won, excluding games won by a shootout, and the greater number won by the club. So maybe it's not the series.
Yeah,
I feel like it was the series last year.
They might have changed it up recent years, but yeah, it's based off of the first would be their wins, regulation wins, and then it would go then it would go to the overtime of who's got less.
So maybe I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Well, still the same thing is I think Minnesota.
They still would have the type. They would still hold the over Calgary. There's no way Calgary cannot go to a tiebreaker.
RW. So okay. So it would be with the Blues. So yeah. So if both of them win tonight, well, no. See, that's the thing though. If something's not right with that pitcher because Minnesota, no matter what, would have a playoff spot if that was the case.
Other than I mean they would just have to win.
So
to get that point.
Yeah. That's the thing. So the Wild need a point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big thing. Wild need a point. St. Louis needs a win. So yeah. Okay. So regulation. Okay. So I see where that's at now. So because St. Louis is technically 31, but if Calgary ends up winning, they'd still because what was the second one? The second thing after that, after you won by regulation wins.
Then it was the greater number of games won, greater number of games won excluding games won by shootout. So this figure is reflected in the ROW column. That's that one.
So if that was the case, then either way,
it gets crazy. I wonder how far down they've ever had to go. Well, they had to go last year, wasn't it?
Jeez, I don't even know
what was it that they had to go down to?
I don't even know.
Because like it gets way more confusing. They have all the way down to 7. They have 7 points in there for this. So I feel like at one point they've gotten this far. If you have to have 7, like at one point they've had to come to this point where it's like, oh my God, we got to put something in there to have these guys tie break and to break the tie.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm lost on it now. Because I just feel like either way, I guess, no matter what, Minnesota needs a point.
Yeah, so I mean, it break down here. If Calgary is eliminated, no matter what, if they lose in any regulation,
and so Calgary needs to win, no matter
or
what.
An overtime shootout loss plus St. Louis gets at least a point, or the same overtime shootout. And if they get an overtime shootout win, or overtime shootout win with St. Louis, overtime shootout win in Minnesota. Yeah, it gets way more in depth as you go down, but the easiest, simplistic one is look off of Calgary. If they are Minnesota wins in regulation, they're in no matter what. St. Louis, they're clinching with a regulation win versus Utah, no matter what. So
yeah. Which right now Calgary's down. I just saw 1-0, so it's not looking good for them right now.
Still early, but yeah, they're looking that. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Utah to come back down 4-0 to a hot Blues team like that in the second period. So they're looking out for that Ducks Wild game,
Yeah. So it'll be
which I'm sure Minnesota's happy to get Kirill and Eriksson Ek back in the time frame that they got him back because they needed the offensive spark, especially for this push. Like it's because it's come down, it's gotten so
yeah.
close to where it's like, oh crap, we are about to be kicked out, about to be eliminated out of the playoffs. Luckily, they got him back in time, and they put
But
up those crazy points.
they need, but it all matters now. That's the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Like this game is big for them because yeah, they lose and somehow Calgary wins.
Mhm.
It's gonna be not fun for them.
Yeah, but then, well, you're Minnesota. You're gonna face Vegas first round.
Depends. That
Well, yeah, I
but
know that's the other thing too. Yeah, that's the other thing because they could flip flop.
yeah, well that's the thing. If Minnesota, that's a big thing too. Like St. Louis wants to win, they'll get this win probably.
Yeah.
And then they take over Minnesota. Now they're hoping Minnesota loses
Mm-hmm.
because then they will clinch that spot.
Yeah.
No matter what,
Mhm.
they'll. So
Because if you're Winnipeg, you want to face Minnesota.
I think so.
I don't, because of St. Louis, I know. I mean, is more scarier as of right now than it would be a Minnesota team that's
Yeah.
lacking.
Yeah.
As of right now, and so I think you're Winnipeg, you want to go up against Minnesota, besides St. Louis, who has been in an absolute terror as of late.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on that. So yeah. So I don't know. St. Louis wants any. I think St. Louis is very confident right now.
Yeah.
They can be just whoever they want.
For sure. I
So
think they match up better too with Vegas.
I either way, I think I would like to see that first round with St. Louis, either Team Vegas or Jets are gonna just be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so St. Louis is probably like, yep, 4-0, we're probably golden. And now they're just hoping that Minnesota loses and they can play Vegas, which I think would be a better matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Minnesota's just hoping to get a point. So, but yeah, I guess if they get a point, then they're just fine. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
So yeah, they're not even worried. It's almost like, hey, now we're worried about positioning. Who we're gonna play in it for the first round.
Yeah.
With that coming up too.
Yeah. So let's now talking off the wild card spot in the playoff contentions, positioning wise, it's pretty much set in stone.
Yeah.
The Kings are now 2 for sure, and they'll face Edmonton. Just how it is.
Can we ask? Do you think the Kings could possibly sweep the Oilers in the first round? With the way things are going right now.
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think it.
Especially with the
everyone's coming back.
First two games are LA home.
At home.
LA's lost 5 games all year. No.
Well, I know that's okay.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
So let's talk about that game last night, right?
Yeah.
So Vegas.
Well, I mean, they had. I mean, that wasn't. I mean, yeah. Just go with it because you heard the comments of Philip Denal.
So, yes, I understand. Philip is talking about they put their B squad. I understand everyone's hurt.
Yep.
I understand that.
Yep.
But I'm a Kings fan, but I will side with him a little bit on it because, dude, there's so many penalty minutes.
There was 8 for one team, 8 penalties, and then 6 penalties for the other, or something like 14 calls.
Yep. So it was both teams crazy, but again, when you're almost all your superstars are out, it's gonna be
hard.
You know that Oilers are gonna come out. Just who cares?
Yeah.
And I seen comments about, well, it was a nothing game, and it wasn't a nothing game. It was a big game for home advantage.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Now the Oilers are in deep crap because, in fact, almost every team that's gonna play the Kings are in deep crap because.
Other than the Jets when they meet them in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. But you look at it, the Kings, again, they're the best team at home.
Correct.
That's a big advantage.
Huge. So you
big
advantage. Get your first 2 games and then your last game.
Yeah.
If you go to a game 7.
Yeah.
Which is home advantage.
Technically, the Kings only needed to win 1 game on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1 game on the road.
Yeah.
And then win
they win
and their percentage, more likely they might lose one game at home
Mhm.
during the playoffs.
Yeah.
One game.
Yeah. In multiple series.
Yeah. So that was a big game for the Canes, and honestly, it was a big game for the Oilers. But yeah, I do think the Oilers came out just wanting to probably rough them up, knowing that they're gonna be there.
Playing
Because now, honestly, I think I don't know if anything came out with Darnell Nurse
he
yet.
had a hearing today or is it tomorrow? Anyway, he's getting a hearing. He's gonna have a hearing. I think it's today or it was tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So that could be huge because they're already down at Matisse Alcombe. They're one of their strong all around defensemen. So he's not coming back till the second round maybe.
Yeah.
And that's if you get past the Kings. You gotta get past the Kings first. So we're
And-
talking there. And
Yeah.
David and Draisaitl are both out, but I think they're just resting because they're trying to get to 100%.
So I guess whatever. But I don't know. I am excited for that part of it. But yeah, I think that whole Edmonton and Kane thing, I think Nurse is gonna has to get a game. There's no way. Like,
I think probably get a game.
Literally, there's a comment when Nurse they played. I think it was Toronto against Ryan Reeves. And he's like, well, I'm 6'5", 6'4", and you got all this body, but you go after my head. Literally did the same exact thing.
Yeah, I saw that comment, and then right underneath that, the video somebody posted him on top of, I can't remember who he was on top of, just cross-checking.
QB.
Yeah, okay.
Byfield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Byfield. Yeah, he's just cross-checking the hell out of him. It's like, Jesus, man. It's like, why do you, like, how dumb, like, that is such a, because he's a vet. He's not a young kid. He's a vet. You should know better. Going into the playoffs, your team's already hurt. You're already hurting on the defensive end.
Yep.
And you decide to do something, I mean, excuse my language, some dumbass move like that to get yourself fined. You get kicked out of the game, fine, and then you don't think you're not going to get it. You might not get, like, come on now. Like really? Is that really like we're going to do? Like, you're just hurting your team at that point. Like,
and so now take in the effect of Kings being the best at home.
Mm-hmm.
You literally now, how many games do you get? You know, you got
I'm sure he's probably going to get one, at least one.
One regular season, but maybe one in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, how many?
He's got to have at least 2 game suspension. So
so if they do give him one, like, would they move that to next year regular season, or would they do it right at playoffs?
Yep.
So yeah, and the Oilers still have 2 games. Though the Oilers, I'd still be worried if I was Florida though. I'll get to that though. But I think I don't. Doesn't look right now for this series. It doesn't look like it's gonna be a good series. That's why I think. That's why I asked. I was like, do you think they could sweep them? Because like the way everything's going in right now, like
Edmonton one game.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
The only thing I get, I think Canes will win. And again, I'm not trying to be biased. That's my team, but if you honestly look at the Canes,
everyone's talking about it. Like it's going to be a pretty dominant series for the Kings, just because everything that's going on in Edmonton.
Everything. It's playoff hockey. It's different, but I honestly don't see it being
4 years in a row.
Yeah, I think it's
4 years in a row. It's for 4 years in a row, and it's literally like the path, the golden path, the yellow brick road has been laid out for you guys for the first round.
Yep. So, and then other than that, more than likely, well, it'll be Dallas and Colorado.
That sucks for first round. I mean, it's awesome, but it sucks because you're like, I want both of them to move forward, to move on.
Yeah. So Dallas will be home advantage, which their record's not terrible.